All right, I'm headed to the gym today, and something popped up in my head that I wanted to talk about. So yesterday I ended up subbing at a school, and I had to end up standing outside for recess, and it was raining, and it had rained for a little bit. But one thing I noticed was that the kids, there was a specific section in the undercover area where like the gutter was slightly tilted, so the rainfall was kind of coming down sort of from the gutter. The rainwater from the gutter was coming down kind of like a waterfall in a way, and the kids were all pretty much attracted to it. Mind you, I was working at an elementary school, but the water just attracted them. And although there was an announcement earlier in the day that it was raining and the possibility of being outside for recess, and there's no spare clothes for any of them to wear, and despite me telling them that, you know, you can play there, but if you get wet, you're going to be wet for the rest of the day, they still decided regardless to play in that water. And they were running through it kind of like we did, or I did as a kid with the sprinkler. You know how you kind of like run back and forth through the water. Some of the kids got really wet. Some of the kids only got a little bit wet. But overall, I noticed that they were just in the moment, and they were not worried about like the rest of the day or anything that happens before that. And it made me think about how in the Bible Jesus tells us to be like little children. And immediately I thought, like, these kids know they're gonna get wet, despite how many times I've told them, somebody else has told them they're gonna get wet. They knew in the back of their mind that despite getting wet, later I will be able to change into a dry set of clothes. And I think we have to take that approach with life. Like, although we may go through something, and we may battle with something, and we may have trouble in something, that later God will show up and take care of us in a way that we may not even expect it. It may not be right away. Like, for example, they were at school, so they're going to be wet for the rest of the day at school, and this was like a midday recess, right? But they knew once they got home, they were going to be in a warm home. They were going to have clothes to put on to change into, and they were going to be able to heat up and warm their bodies back up later. And so I feel like that's just a calling for us as adults. A lot of times we forget to enjoy the moment. And sometimes I've been hearing a lot lately that even if you're on a business adventure or whatever it may be, that you have to enjoy the process. So for me, seeing that yesterday was a reminder of that, and hopefully that can encourage somebody today to just enjoy the moment. Like, don't worry about what's going to happen. That's another scripture as well. Don't worry about tomorrow. Today has its own worries. So just focus on the moment, and yeah, get used to enjoying where you're at, and learn from where you're at, and grow from where you're at, and just enjoy it. Tomorrow will come. You don't have to worry about today. Today has its own worries. Tomorrow has its own worries. But today has its own pleasures as tomorrow has its own pleasures. So just enjoy the moment. That's my message for today. Hopefully that inspires somebody, and I'll see you in the next video.